It's a new day in the workroom, and you can really feel the tension in here. You could probably cut it with one of our Sen's heels. After last week's Untucked, we're all at a height, wondering how things are gonna go forward. And even outside of that, we're all just a tiny bit pissed, because Mimi has essentially won all 3 of these first 3 challenges. Girl, give someone else a chance.
The queens enter the workroom, staying mostly silent. Oswald, Flower, Skull Kid, Mimi, Ritska, and Arsene are all glaring at their respective rivals, while Kaito and Elise look around awkwardly.
God, this tension is delicious. All of these bitches are so focused on each other that half of them are letting their challenge performances slip, and the other half are completely ignoring a sleeper threat like myself. In just the first 3 challenges I was in, I got a win and placed in the top. The longer the other queens spend fucking around with the dramatics, the longer it'll take them to realize I'm slaughtering them.
Kaito clears his throat, and says that none of the fights between queens are going to go anywhere at this point, so for now could they be civil and discuss the competition for a bit? Elise agrees, and the other queens nod, with some still glaring at others. Elise then asks the room what kind of challenge they're hoping for this week.
I'm happy we could all chill out for a little bit, because if I'm honest, the stress is starting to get to me. There's been a lot of comedy challenges lately, so I've been dodging the bottom by the skin of my teeth, and with all these arguments, it's freaking me out a little bit.
Skull Kid replies that he's hoping for a ball or a design challenge. Flower, Elise, and Mimi agree, with Flower saying it's about damn time they have a fashion challenge. Aventurine says that while he is a designer as well, he'd love a good old-fashioned runway challenge, so that he can show off one of the looks he brought from home. Pikachu mumbles, Mannequin Queen, under his breath, and Josie giggles.
Designer my ass. The only designer Aventurine is familiar with are the designer brands he buys. That man cannot sew, I'm sure of it. Queens like him can turn looks, but they can't do anything requiring real technique. It takes more than money to be the next drag superstar.
Josie says that she wants another dance challenge, since they saw the excellence she brought in the last one. Arsene adds that he would love a dance challenge, and Ritska replies that for once he agrees with Arsene. Oswald notes that he would like to do Snatch Game. Kaito agrees, and Elise brightens up, saying she's excited for that challenge as well. Flower rolls her eyes, and says that of course Oswald wants another comedy challenge, it's the only thing he can be successful in. Skull Kid looks as if he's about to respond, but Oswald puts a hand on his shoulder and shakes his head, mumbling that she isn't worth it right now. Skull Kid hesitates, but nods.
I really appreciate that Skull Kid has been on my side. It feels like he's the only person here I have. I mean, Kaito has been very kind, but we aren't especially close, and he's friends with Arsene, who I'm not exactly happy with right now. Skull Kid is never afraid to stick up for me, and I'm the same with him. But pissing people off even more won't help us make that finale, so I'm gonna try to keep him calm at the moment. I can take their insults. I've taken insults my entire career. I let them slide right off of me. I know who I am and what I'm capable of. Flower can eat my ass.
Josie says that all that matters is that, whatever the challenge is, she will eat it up with grace like the true queen she is. She then kicks her leg up onto the table, smacks her thigh, and tells the room to worship this body tea. The other queens laugh, and the room mail alarm sounds.
I'd be lying if I said that the break from the drama wasn't refreshing. Maybe this week, regardless of the challenge, I'll just keep to myself and focus on the challenge. I probably just need a breather. These legs are still strutting on the path to that finale.
Hello my loves, and congratulations on making top 11. This roumail outfit brings me back. I wore this on the very first episode of Cartoon Drag Race Philippines. I'm getting nostalgic. Perhaps we should give it a rerun.
Sigh, Len, you're losing your touch. Only 5 episodes in and you're repeating something from last season? I fear we won't make it to the end of this one without getting cancelled, with this lack of originality.
Of course, I wouldn't want to just do the same thing twice, so rather than simply the same theme as the original, we'll theme it based on our winning queen, Vanessa, who just so happens to be our guest judge this week. You'll each take one of the looks you've worn this season, and tear it up for some Vanessa-inspired distressed fashion.
You know, I would be upset that I have to tear up one of my beautiful outfits, but I'm so obsessed with Vanessa's distressed fashion style. I'm ready to harness the spirit of that queen and tear that runway up as well. This is finally my element. No more goddamn comedy challenges and teams. Time to show what I can really do, and look pretty as fuck waving at Oswald as he walks out of that door.
Do our Season 1 alumnus proud. Good luck, and don't fuck it up.
The queens break up and begin sorting through their previous runway looks for the challenge. Aventurine approaches Arsène, who is repeatedly looking through his looks up to now, looking stressed.
I know exactly what look I'm using for this runway, my stunning entrance look. And I'll be taking some things from my other looks as well. But Arsène seems to be having a little bit of trouble deciding, and seeing that gave me a very interesting idea. He's pretty low right now after those two bottoms, and I think I can take advantage of that.
Aventurine asks Arsène what he's thinking of using for the challenge. Arsène responds that he isn't sure, adding that the only look he thinks will be fitting is his entrance, but that he doesn't want to rip that look up because he likes it a lot. Aventurine nods, and says that it would be a shame to cut that look up. He thinks for a moment, and offers to let Arsène use his Vivienne Westwood runway from episode 3, saying that he thinks the look is a great base for this challenge and would suit Arsène. Arsène looks shocked, and asks if he can actually use it. Aventurine says of course, giving it to him, and winking as he walks away to work with Ritska.
I can't say I expected that from Aventurine. I definitely see him in a better light now. I appreciate the help. This look is absolutely fierce, and I have so many incredible ideas for what to do with it. Aventurine, I definitely owe you one.
Oh, I'm gonna miss that look. It was one of my favorites from my package, the only one I was planning on keeping intact with this challenge. But I think there's a good chance you'll all see why I did that once we hit the stage.
Josie, Kaito, and Elise are once again working in a group together, discussing the challenge as they work on their looks. Kaito asks Elise which look she's using for this challenge, and Elise says that she's reworking her aquatic runway, and will be styling it to be inspired by Ursula from Cartoon Drag Race Season 7.
Ursula is such an icon to me. Our drag is very different, but I want to channel that sweetheart pageant divadom that makes her so amazing, and use it to finally take my first challenge win. I need to come back from my performances before this week, and this is how I'm gonna do it.
Kaito says that he'll be taking a risk, and actually is planning on modifying his confessional look, which also happens to be the one he's currently wearing. Josie gasps, and asks if that's even allowed in the challenge. Elise notes that it hasn't even been worn on the runway. Kaito shrugs, and says that he isn't sure if it's allowed, but he's sure that he's doing it.
I know enough about this show to know that if I'm not careful, those critiques last week are my siren song. I got critiqued positively, but everybody knows that being called professional and told that they want versatility is a death sentence if you aren't smart. I'm gonna miss this confessional look, but I think cutting up a pedestrian non-drag look like this and turning it into a genderfuck style drag gown is the type of unique concept the judges want from me, and I'm ready to execute it.
Before the others can say anything, Kaito says that he has to go change unless they all want to see his ass, because he has a look to create. Josie laughs, and says that some of these queens might not mind that. Kaito turns a bit red, and heads off to change.
I'm a little worried about Kaito. This is uncharted territory, and frankly, I don't know if he has the time to pull it off. I don't even know if what he's doing is allowed within the category. But I hope for his sake that he can do it, because that might be the big break he needs to stand out. Josie takes out 4 different looks, being each of her runways as well as her girl group performance look, and asks production for a sewing machine. Elise asks her what the hell she's doing, and Josie says that she plans on cutting all of her looks into scraps and stitching them into a patchwork train, which will attach to her performance look that she's going to cut holes in and cover in stuffing and fabric to look like a tattered old blanket. Elise's jaw drops, and she asks if Josie really thinks she has time for that, because they really don't have much for this challenge. Josie stands up, pushing her chair back so hard that it falls over, and loudly announces that the Queen of the Philippines Josie Rizal can do anything she sets her mind to. She then swiftly kicks her chair up into the air, catching it and placing it back upright, before she sits down and begins sewing.
On one hand, I see Josie as a friend, and I want her to recover from that bottom placement. On the other, girl, what are you doing? I'm a seamstress, and Camilla also specifically taught me how to make an outfit very quickly in preparation for the season, because that wasn't my specialty. I like intricate designs, but even I wouldn't be able to pull off what Josie is trying to pull off. This is gonna be a disaster. And since she's fully cutting it up, if she doesn't finish it in time, she doesn't even have part of a garment, she just has scraps. Josie, please be careful.
Mimi, Flower, Pikachu, and Ritska are working at the same station. Mimi is sorting through the hats she wore with each of her looks, and cutting off all of the brims. Flower asks what she's doing, and Mimi says Flower should simply trust her new drag mother as she begins cutting up her entrance gown. Flower almost falls out of her chair.
Mimi, dear God, that belongs in a fucking museum, and you're cutting it up just like that? I understand that she wants the crown, but that had to have cost thousands, and she didn't hesitate at all. I'm starting to get scared of her.
Flower sighs and says she'll trust the process, going back to working on her own look. Ritska asks what she's going to be making, and Flower responds that she's going to be making the finale, unlike Ritska. Pikachu laughs, almost tearing his garment.
Jesus Christ, these girls are starting to aggravate me. I can't even ask a simple question anymore. I'm not sure who told Flower she was the main character and gets to talk to us like that, but I'm not having it.
Ritska says fine then, and begins cutting up the denim jeans from his entrance look into strips. Pikachu laughs, and asks Ritska when he had the nerve to wear jeans on the runway. Ritska glares at him, and says that it was actually his entrance look. Flower immediately says that that's when the second group knew he wouldn't be a threat, laughing to herself. Ritska slams his hand on the table, and asks what the hell Flower's problem is. Flower pauses what she's doing, and says that her problem is that her sister was eliminated last week because production wanted to milk Ritska and Arsene's beef for all the pennies it was worth. Pikachu cuts in, and says that Meringue didn't go home because of Ritska, she went home because she wasn't giving in the challenges. Mimi calmly asks when exactly Ritska has given in one of the challenges, not even looking away from her mannequin. Ritska stands up and starts shouting at the top of his lungs, saying that he's sick of the way he's being treated here. As he stands up, Aventurine goes over to their station, concernedly asking what the shouting is about. Mimi, still not even looking away from her outfit, says that Aventurine's favorite fleshlight is mad that they called out him underperforming. The entire room gasps, and Ritska goes dead silent.
Oh my fucking god, since when can Mimi read like that? That was nuclear. Is she going to win the reading challenge too? I can't handle that girl winning any more challenges.
I'm not even going to devote my energy to these queens. All of us know that Ritska is being carried along. I'm not a mean girl, I'm really not. I like to keep my congenial pageant demeanor. But when it comes to Ritska in particular, at this moment, I'm going to say how I feel, because I'm sick of how he's been acting and the others clearly are too. I think I'm the only one who has realized that Aventurine is obviously manipulating him, and I don't even feel bad about it, because he had the nerve to argue with Arsene about cheating with Sato when he's a total hypocrite. Our hotel rooms aren't far from each other, Ritska. I'll just leave it at that.
Ritska shouts that Mimi can't talk about him like that, adding that he hasn't even done anything to her. Aventurine tries to get him to calm down, but Ritska shouts that he isn't going to calm down, saying that Mimi needs to take it back. Pikachu tells Ritska to stop screaming, and Ritska shouts back to stay out of it, or Ritska will make sure he lip syncs and goes home like he should have done in episode 1. Aventurine shouts that that's enough, before physically pulling Ritska to another station.
I've had it. I've absolutely had it. Mimi gets a couple of challenge wins and thinks she can just say and do as she pleases, and Flower has been doing that without even having the decency to get the 2 challenge wins first. I'm not the queen to fuck with, and they'll find that out sooner or later.
Ritska asks why the hell Aventurine just did that, starting to rant about Mimi, Flower, and Pikachu. Aventurine firmly places his hand on Ritska's shoulder, causing him to instantly go quiet. Aventurine then very firmly says to never do something stupid like that again, because he wouldn't be able to stand this competition if Ritska got himself kicked out of it, winking at him. Ritska turns flush and stays quiet. Aventurine then tells him to get back to work on his garment, while he gets back to work on his own. Ritska nods.
For fuck's sake, is this dumbass trying to get himself disqualified like Mickey Mouse? I feel like I'm babysitting. And by involving myself in that fight to save him from getting security called, I've just painted a massive target on my back. I'm starting to really like Ritska, but if he makes me sacrifice my delicate position in the background one more time, I'm cutting him loose and going back to letting him get eliminated.
Oswald and Skull Kid are putting the finishing touches on their outfits. Periodically, Oswald is stopping what he's doing to excitedly show Skull Kid his outfit and ask what he thinks. Skull Kid is making a clear effort to cover his face each time, complimenting Oswald heavily.
I'll be honest, I don't like the look at all. But goddammit, he's so giddy that it's making me sick to my stomach. I couldn't tell him that, his heart would shatter. That being said, I can't just let him walk out in something basic, he'll get red to filth. Oswald is friends with me, knowing exactly how shady I am. Maybe I just need to be myself here.
Skull Kid sighs and turns to Oswald, bluntly saying that the outfit is ugly and he needs to quickly either fix it or try something new. Oswald's face drops, and he silently sits back at the table, looking down a bit as if he was going to cry. Skull Kid flinches and apologizes before Oswald looks up and laughs at him, saying that he got him. Skull Kid face cracks and starts laughing, saying he can't stand Oswald. Oswald sighs and says that since he's almost done, he's going to go see what Elise and Josie are up to and scout out the competition. Skull Kid smirks and says he's finally learning, as Oswald walks off.
Oh my god, that was the funniest thing I've witnessed all week. He looked like he was about to cry. I really needed that laugh after everything. But yay, this look is ugly as hell. What I haven't been showing Skull Kid is that I actually have a reveal planned. I've upgraded my attempt at glamour from last week, and I'm hiding it under my UK Hun look, which I've torn almost to tatters. I'm going for a Cinderella storyline, where on the runway I'll go from a lowly disheveled mall drag peasant to a sickening queen. I told Skull Kid I was going to Elise to see what her and Josie were doing, but really, I secretly got her help teaching me how to do a proper princess mug for this runway, and she excitedly agreed. I just really hope that I can pull it off. I think the judges and Skull Kid are going to be so proud of me.
Hello my loves, and welcome to Cartoon Drag Race Philippines Season 2. I am one of your beloved hosts, Kagamane Len. Please welcome our beautiful judging panel, the other half of our sickening judging duo, it's Kagamane Rin. Our permanent judge, and my favorite drag queen, it's Candace Flynn. And the queen of distressed fashion herself, and Candace's drag sister from Season 1 of Cartoon Drag Race Philippines, it's Vanessa. How are you feeling, my love?
Well, after last time I was here, I'm feeling robbed. I haven't forgiven you for that elimination. This was all an elaborate scheme between me and Candace to get close to you so I could confront you for it.
Hee, Vanessa did spill life here. She was eliminated over Ione and, we saw how that went. The squirrel with 9 lives. But Vanessa looks absolutely beautiful on the panel tonight. I hope that she loves my look inspired by her.
Oh dear, quickly moving on from that. In tonight's Maxi Challenge, we tasked our queens with cutting up and repurposing their previous runway looks to style a brand new look referencing Vanessa's signature style of distressed fashion. Now, without further ado, let's begin.
Flower and Aventurine slayed the challenge.
I've completely transformed my lady in red runway, slicing it to pieces. In the gaps from the cuts, I lined it with black velvet that I covered in beautiful black rhinestones, which I painstakingly took off of my girl group look one by one, and I cut the pants open and fashioned them into a structured backskirt. My construction was perfect, my presentation was everything, walking that runway like I was born on it. I took that look from businesswoman to femme fatale villain, and I think that encompasses my drag perfectly.
Josie Rizal, Elise, Skull Kid, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, and Kaito were great in the challenge.
There were strong showings all around this week, but Josie, Kaito, and Oswald really blew me away. That being said, I'm really happy with my look, and I think the judges are as well. It came out exactly how I was hoping. I'm painted purple from head to toe, and I'm sporting a divine-inspired mug to mimic Ursula, which I've never done before. I feel so glamorous, hee hee.
I will say, even though nobody did poorly, I'm a little underwhelmed with how few people really explored this concept. Most of you bitches are just in gowns made out of other gowns. Even though it looks good, I'm bored. But one queen definitely pulled off the gown, and that was Oswald. Since when can he do his makeup like that? Is that tricky fucker messing with me? Well played.
Elise had her doubts that I wouldn't finish in time and, well, she was right. My look isn't fully lined, there's a few crooked hems from rushing. And I did have to really rush the mug this week, so I don't have my usual unclockable beat. If I had a bit more time for those fixes, though, this would be a perfect look, and it's still pretty damn great if I do say so myself. And I do say so myself, clock it. I'm sure the judges appreciate that I went big this week.
Can you all blur this one? I haven't quite gotten my new confessional look together yet, haha. Well, anyway, the judges loved my look. I could tell that they were shocked when I came out, but I sold it like a pro. I could see that Vanessa was impressed, and the way Kagame Len's eyes shined while I walked. I can't lie, it feels good to make my brother proud, haha. I could tell he was so thrilled that I took their critiques in stride and turned a look like this. I think I even have a case to win this week, but there's definitely a lot of competition.
Mimi Tachikawa, Ritsuka Uenoyama, Arsene, and Pikachu were good in the challenge.
I really thought I looked incredible tonight. You know I'm a designer, and I turned one of my favorite looks yet from the fantastic base that Aventurine gave to me. The judges did look impressed, but they had this really strange look of confusion on their faces. I tried to strut with confidence and not let it get to me, but I'm definitely nervous. God, please don't let me be in the bottom again.
I may have gotten a little too big for my britches this week, haha. I look great, but I didn't get to fully realize my concept. A Mimi look isn't complete without a hat or a headpiece, and I actually cut all of the brims off of the hats from my previous looks. And I used them to add a really interesting structured ring look to my modified entrance look. But I did run out of time before I could modify the base in the ways I wanted to, so it's not changed very much from the original look aside from the hat brims and some embellishments. Either way, I'm happy with how it came out, even if it isn't perfect.
My look tonight is inspired by Sasha Colby's Rip Her to Shreds runway, but it ended up being much more difficult than I expected to put denim together in that way, and I had to cut some corners. Especially since after the distraction in the workroom from Mimi, I had a bit less time. I still look good, but with the caliber of some of these other looks, I might be lip-syncing tonight. Let's hope it's to send Mimi home.
My queens, I have made some decisions. Skull Kid, Mimi Tachikawa, Josie Rizal, and Elise. You are all safe, you may leave the stage.
Oh wow, safe. This is a new feeling. Honestly, I don't mind it, haha. I can admit this wasn't my best work, and I can't win every week. Oh, wow, I feel like a whole new queen. If I didn't have a reputation to uphold, maybe I'd be safe every week.
I really thought I showed out tonight. I was hoping for at least a top placement. But the judges clearly enjoyed my look tonight. I can take that and be happy. If anything, I wish Josie could have been in the top. She really proved me wrong this week.
Oswald, you are also safe tonight. But I want to commend you for taking a second shot at a glamorous mug and runway this week. You look great, and even though you weren't quite good enough to be in the top this week, we wanted you to know we saw the effort. You may leave the stage.
Ha, Flower, take that, bitch. I may not have been in the top this week, but I made one thing clear. There's nothing Flower can do that I can't, period. It's easy enough for me to learn how to do glamour. It's become pretty clear that she can't learn how to be likable.
That means that Kaito, Pikachu, Arsene, Aventurine, Ritsuka, and Flower. You are the tops and bottoms of the week. Kaito, please step forward.
This is such a unique take on the challenge, and you really did an incredible job executing it. The way the fabric was cut so that it would flow around you as you walked, the whole genderfuck vibe. It's giving me Nina flowers, and I'm here for it.
You were really smart for this, Kaito, because you were able to find the points of growth and even a positive critique, and you focused in on them in tonight's challenge. You took a risk, and you were creative in a way that none of the other queens thought of. I will always reward that on this stage, so long as it's done cleanly. And this is one of the cleanest looks on the runway tonight.
What the hell are you going to wear in the workroom and confessional booth now? I mean, really? Are you just gonna be nude? Because that might increase our viewership. Jokes aside though, the look tonight is just so fun, and the way you moved on the runway to really show off the way you tore and cut the fabric was great. You stuck out in all the best ways, amazing job.
I'm so glad that the judges recognized my idea this week, and that it didn't get me thrown off of the stage by technicality. I may be naked and afraid in this confessional booth now, but it was absolutely worth it.
Flower, please step forward.
I love that you not only repurpose your old looks for this challenge and turned them into distressed fashion, but you specifically went for a very Vanessa aesthetic, something unusual for Flower. I could see Vanessa storming the runway in a look just like this, and it's very well done.
This is incredible, and it almost tells a story, as if the character from your last runway has evolved into this sexy femme fatale action star. I think my only issue with some of your looks, Flower, is the overall silhouette being very similar from week to week. Last week it wasn't quite as samey because of the shoulder pads, but if I put a black filter over every look you walked in so far, I'd have a lot of trouble telling them apart. It's not a full-on flaw this early, but I'd like to nip that in the bud. Nonetheless, you look incredible.
I would wear this. Can I have this, please? I mean, you really sold it in that walk too. I was convinced I was watching Naomi Campbell. You brought your attitude with you to the runway, and it was cunt to a degree that I'm not even sure how to describe. I was completely in awe, and you were by far my favorite in the challenge tonight.
Pikachu, please step forward.
Your look tonight isn't bad by any means, but it definitely failed to wow me. You took a girl group performance look and, well, turned it into essentially a different girl group performance look. I didn't fully get the distressed vibe from it. I can see the punk-ish rips in the skirt and the top, but you didn't lean into that. If you had maybe added some more of that, worn some torn stockings or fishnets, and a more punky wig, you could have given us a punk rock moment. But as it stands, it's just so similar to the original.
I have to agree with Kagamine Rin. It's not that the look isn't good, it's that you missed the point a bit. There wasn't a transformation. I like it, it technically fits the category. But the main theme here above all was creativity, and I didn't get that.
Even on the weeks where you haven't been critiqued so positively, you've always been creative on the runway. This look is so simple and close to the original, that it seems a little bit like you were playing it safe and aiming for the middle of the pack because you didn't have any ideas. That's not the Pikachu we know and love.
Honestly, they clocked me, especially Candace. I completely drew a blank this week, and although I like what I ended up going with, I was playing it safe. I'll survive this week however I have to, and I won't ever do that again.
Ritska, please step forward.
I definitely appreciate the concept here. I see the reference to Sasha Colby, and I like that you went with something unique compared to other queens. Nobody else used denim, and nobody else modified their look in the way that you did. All this considered, this is good. It just left a lot to be desired, and your competition was stronger.
I wish that the silhouette was clearer. You kinda have this rectangle shape going on and it makes your look seem pulled downwards. I feel bad, because it's a good concept with good execution, but it just isn't quite good enough.
I can see where you rushed parts of it to finish it in time, which does look a bit sloppy. And I'm not fully sure why you had to rush at all, because it's a pretty simple design. I like it, but I don't love it, and the more you look at it the more mistakes you see. If this concept was elevated more, you could have ranked much higher for me this week.
Arsene, please step forward.
This look is fantastic, one of the best of the category. You have such an eye for fashion, and you really did the distressed fashion part justice. But I can't help but notice something. Arsene, this isn't one of your runways. I can't quite tell whose it is when it's torn up like this, but I've never seen you in plaid, so it definitely isn't yours.
Yeah, I was wondering if I was the only one that noticed that. Your look is great, but it's pretty obvious that you didn't adhere to the actual challenge, which is pretty disappointing. Especially because you have such a unique aesthetic, surely you could have used one of your looks? Just straight up not doing the challenge is a very major problem, I can't say much else about it.
I actually recognize this as Aventurine's Vivienne Westwood look from episode 3. Did he let you use that? He did? Well, regardless, you definitely weren't supposed to. But I do really want to praise the actual construction here. You'd probably have my second favorite look tonight if, it was actually yours.
Aventurine, please step forward.
Absolutely fantastic showing tonight, wow. I liked the queens that used their entrance looks, because in a somewhat similar vein to Kaito, you followed the challenge while still using something we've never seen before. This was probably my favorite look tonight.
Referencing Beate Carlson's Milan Fashion Week show making light of fast fashion, by stacking different pieces that were intentionally falling off and tearing as you walked, was such a genius way to present a look in this category. And when they all tore off and revealed this sexy, sleek look underneath, I was gagged. This is amazing.
I agree with those critiques. It almost hurt watching several pieces that were clearly couture getting torn up on the runway in front of me, and in a way, that made it even better. You didn't hold back at all this week, you went in for the kill, and you sacrificed what needed to be sacrificed. I loved it, I have no notes.
My queens, now that we've let you know our thoughts, it's time to get into your placements. Kaito, tonight you explored the category in a way nobody else thought to, and showed us a new side of your drag. You're safe. Amazing job this week, you may leave the stage.
Hey, make sure this is still blurred. I don't want my bare chest on international television, and if I stand up from this chair, I wouldn't want that to be shown either. But anyway, I'm absolutely thrilled with my top placement this week, it feels so correct. I'm proud of myself for thinking out of the box, and I think I've officially escaped the regular critique before it was too late. I've just got to keep it up, and I plan on doing just that.
Aventurine, you left it all on the stage tonight. Literally. Flower, you truly embodied this week's category, and walked onto the runway attitude first. Aventurine. You're safe. Fantastic job this week, you may leave the stage. Flower, congratulations my love, you are the winner of this week's challenge.
Oh my god, fucking finally, my first challenge win. Thank you so much, Kagamane Len, even though you took your sweet time. I'm thrilled to be having this moment in front of an icon like Vanessa. I won't be letting up yet, though. I may be Mimi's daughter, but she's still my competition. If I want to catch up, I need more than just one win.
Oh, well, that works too, I suppose. I fully expected to win this week. But I definitely commend Flower for her win. Her look may not have been as high concept, but she served an incredible look tonight. Well done, Flower. Let's see if you can continue to keep up with me.
That means that Arsene, Pikachu, and Ritska. You are the bottoms of the week.
Oh, girl. I am fuming. I'm about to either get called safe and go beat Aventurine's ass until it's red, or win a lip sync and beat Aventurine's ass until it's purple. You picked the right one? Count your days.
Ritska Uenoyama, tonight on the runway, we liked your ideas, but we didn't like your execution. I'm sorry my love, but you are up for elimination.
I definitely saw this coming, and I'm ready. Let's just hope that I'm up against Arsene instead of the rat, because I think it's about time this happened. This lip sync song is perfect for me to send the Red Terror home to.
Pikachu, your look tonight left us wanting more. But to your credit, you followed the instructions of the challenge, while the queen next to you did not. You're safe this week. You're lucky, you may leave the stage. Arsene, I'm sorry my love, but you are once again up for elimination.
My entire career just flashed before my eyes. I literally could cry. Thank God Arsene broke the category, because with how pissed Ritska looks, that would have been a battle.
Oh shit. This is the moment we've all been waiting for, Philippines. The stars aligned, the producers produced, and it's the final showdown between Ritska and Arsene. I can't believe you're making me ask this again. Where the hell is this diva's popcorn?
Prior to tonight, I asked you to prepare a lip sync performance to The Boy Is Mine by Ariana Grande, Brandy, and Monica.
Oh wow, that one's on the nose. I just know they were saving that song for when these two flopped. I see you, producers, I see you. And now I'm ready to see who the boy really belongs to, haha. I'm rooting for you Arsene, you've got this.
The time has come for you to lip sync for your life. Good luck, and don't fuck it up.
I've spent the past 3 challenges waiting for this, and now here we are. This is my stage, this is my win, and this is my moment. Ritska, I hope you're packed, because it's about time you left.
Ritska Uenoyama had a great lip sync. Arsene had a good lip sync.
My queens, I have made my decision. Ritska Uenoyama, Shantae, you stay. You may leave the stage.
Holy fuck, my heart is pounding. I put my soul into every single one of those words, and it was all worth it. Thank God he's gone, and I'm glad that I got to get the blood on my own hands.
Arsene, you're still an iconic queen with your entire career ahead of you, and you'll always be seen as one of the best queens the Philippines has to offer. This is just a blip. Remember, you were born to do drag. Now, sashay, away.
Kagamine Len, thank you for this second chance, even if it didn't go how I wanted it to. Ritska, I don't know about you, but I have no hard feelings. Win it for me.
This is Untucked.
The queens walk into Untucked, almost immediately separating into groups. Mimi congratulates Flower for winning the challenge, and Josie and Aventurine agree, with Aventurine saying that the best queen really did win this week. Flower glances at Oswald and Skull Kid, smirking.
Well, sometimes hell freezes over, sometimes pigs fly, sometimes shooting stars grant wishes, and sometimes Flower succeeds in a challenge. All of these things are equally unlikely, but there's a first time for everything.
Josie says that the producers were definitely producing with that lip sync, and Ritska nods, but says that he's glad that it's finally gotten over with. Elise speaks up, congratulating Kaito for his critiques from the judges this week. Before Kaito can even respond, Pikachu sarcastically congratulates him too, saying that even fake positivity is good to hear. Kaito just stares, clearly shocked.
Where did that come from? Pikachu, I like you, but this is not your moment. I think he may have been a little bitter about his placement this week.
Pikachu thinks for a moment, before shaking his head and apologizing to Kaito for lashing out. He goes on to say that he's just feeling some type of way after his placement, and Kaito didn't deserve that. Kaito confusedly tells him that it's okay, before looking directly into the camera and blinking.
Oh, here we go. We've seen this from Pikachu before. He can be oh so talented, such a great sister, and such a classy queen. But the moment he isn't in the spotlight, he crumbles and acts the fool. I'm not at all interested in humoring him, but after I already dealt with drama in the workroom, I refuse to put even more heat on myself right now. So I'll just have to sit through his temper tantrum.
Suddenly, Pikachu seems to start crying, before quickly leaving the untucked lounge before anyone can react. Josie, concerned, runs after him. Ritsuka rolls his eyes.
I was just lip-syncing for my life, and yet the world is supposed to weep for the bitch who was safe. I mean, let's clock real tea. I didn't do great this week, and I deserved to be in the bottom 3. But we all know that Pikachu would have been lip-syncing instead of me tonight, if not for myself and Arsene's rivalry. I took a risk, and even though it didn't come out perfectly, what I did was new and unique. Pikachu may as well have just turned his old runway inside out and cut some holes in it. It was the most boring thing on that stage tonight, and yet he's crying because he was safe for it? Give me a break.
Josie goes outside after Pikachu, and finds him wiping his tears. Josie asks what's wrong, and Pikachu says he knew he looked stupid crying over being safe, so he just wanted to leave, because he was too embarrassed to explain himself properly. Josie laughs, and says yes, he did look stupid. Pikachu looks up at her, and bursts out laughing, telling her to shut up. Josie crouches down, tells Pikachu to wipe off his running mascara, stop feeling sorry for himself, and start applying this passion to the challenges so he doesn't fall into this position again, because it's not where queens like them belong. Pikachu nods and says he will, and thanks her for coming to check up on her. He then asks her if she'll stay out here with him for a while, and Josie smiles and agrees.